Good morning. As you can see, I'm carless. Yeah, so that's right, we're not in my car today. I woke up a few minutes too late and couldn't claim the car for my uses. And as I probably mentioned in another video, or those of you who actually know me, I don't own a car. It's the parental unit's car. So, yeah, I didn't get it today. So, so it's just you and me. I was supposed to pick up William, who's going to be on the podcast, old friend of mine. We were supposed to talk about, actually, I'm not going to tell you. You'll stay tuned in for next time. But William, I'm coming for you. Don't think you can get away this time. So it's just you and me and the camera, alone in this kitchen. This very white kitchen, I know. Should really write down scripts or something. Be a good idea. Anyway. So I'm going to call this segment Out of Gas. Seems appropriate. Don't have a car to use, don't have anyone to talk to, although I guess in future Out of Gases I might have people to talk to. But for this one, it's just me. With my lovely mug that says, "Good morning, handsome." Anyway, today we're going to be talking about coffee, which is the context of this mug. Read off the coffee facts, talk about coffee itself. I like coffee. I really like coffee. I really like coffee. It's quite good. I like putting stuff in coffee. Certain Irish alcoholic creamers, those are delicious. Other possibly alcoholic coffee liqueurs, yep, those are good. Coffee all around is just awesome. During summer, iced coffee. Like, who doesn't like iced coffee? Except people who don't like coffee. And then regular coffee. Irish coffee, Jamaican coffee, all sorts of different coffees with alcohol in it are brilliant. Dessert coffees are good. Usually that's a strong coffee with a big old scoop of vanilla ice cream in it, which if you haven't tried, you should, because that shit is delicious. I also like putting maple syrup in my coffee, which some people might call blasphemy, but I just call it Canadian coffee. It's pretty good. Pretty damn good. So, coffee that I'm having here today is a caramel flavored. Doesn't really taste like caramel, but it says it's caramel flavored. It comes in little pods. You can guess which company, but they're all kind of the same in a way. My mom really likes Nespresso machines, and she uses them. Well, she uses hers all the time. Sometimes I'm allowed to use it. No, just kidding. We share it. And they're pretty good. I just don't like the pods, though. I feel like it's a bit of a waste, just like the amount of pods you go through. And I'm not too sure if they're recyclable or not, because they're full of, like, once you use them, they're still full of the coffee grains, which are still a little, I mean, they're pretty stanky at that point. So I don't know. They probably just put them straight to the garbage, and I feel like that fills up a lot of the landfill. Well, maybe not a lot of the landfill, but I feel like it takes up a lot of space. There's probably better ways of doing it. One of my favorite things to use is a coffee press, or a French press, some people might know it as. That's, to me, one of the best ways. Hang on, I got one. This is a French press. This one is not assembled, or it's broken. One of the two. Yeah, these are fun. These are good to use. Definitely, especially if you're just making 1 cup of coffee for yourself or something, you just pour. Oh, if you don't know how they work, I'm about to. Ooh, this is dirty. Ooh, what is that? Well, I'm not using this now, so this has to be clean. Right. So how you use this is that usually there's a bottom is attached. In this case, it's not for unknown reasons. I don't know why. Anyway, you take the top off. Pour on your coffee grains. You measure it out to how many cups of coffee you want to have. You get yourself some boiling water. Pour the boiling water in, of course measuring it to how many cups of coffee you want. You put the top on, but you don't press it. There's a mesh thing that's sitting here. It's sitting on the bottom of the stuff. I'm not going to pull it out. You leave it like that. this is of course for those of you who have no idea what French press is, or don't drink coffee, or yeah, just for shits and giggles. And then you usually let it sit for around 4 to 6 minutes. It depends. Depends on the coffee, depends how strong you want it. But it's around that. It could be a bit more actually, 6 to 7 minutes. And then after that time, timer goes off, you just press it. You press it and then the mesh pushes down all the grains and then you get a nice thing of coffee and you pour it and stuff. I didn't really have to physically show you how to work it, but I can make a tutorial how to make French press coffee. I'm back. So it used to be that you had to get your own coffee grains from the store and then you could grind them at the store. You can still do that, but now it's interesting because you can just get the bags of pre-ground coffee or instant coffee, but we're not going to go there. Yeah. Although, to be fair, I did enjoy a cup of instant coffee today. It was pretty good. I had to put cream in it, which actually I would put cream in my coffee now that I think about it. Yeah, cream is great in coffee. Let's read off some coffee facts so that this is a little bit more interesting than my own personal opinions and me just babbling on about different stuff. So here we go, something that I found particularly interesting. In 1675, the King of England banned coffee houses, claiming they were places where people met to conspire against him. That's pretty funny. I think he was just jealous. Honestly, I mean, let's think about it. He was probably just jealous because all the cool kids were going to these coffee houses to drink, and he wasn't invited. So he banned them, probably. It's usually how things go, right? But yeah, so that's really interesting. I didn't think the growth of coffee in the world would have been banned. And in 1675, what a random year. Coffee is grown on trees. Yeah, I knew that. I've seen photos of them actually. It's really cool. It's a red berry before it turns into, well, it doesn't turn into a bean. Before they process it, and then you get the little brown black beans that we know of that we grind up and make coffee with. But yeah, it's like this. It looks kind of like a cranberry. Not a cranberry. From a distance, it looks like a cherry tomato, which is kind of weird. And yeah, so it grows up on trees if you didn't know that. And coffee is the second most traded commodity on Earth. That's impressive. A little scary, actually. I guess people are really addicted to coffee. Oil is the first. No surprise there. Oh, okay. So the bean isn't the berry. The bean is the seed that's inside the berry. Gotta clarify this stuff. So also all the coffee in the world grows on what's called the bean belt. So it's right below the equator. It's a strip on our planet that has just the right conditions to growing coffee beans, or coffee trees rather, which is really cool. I didn't realize that it needed such a specific climate to grow in, but I guess so. So don't try to grow coffee beans in your backyard. Well, unless you live on the bean belt, then that works. But I live in Canada, so not the case. It's a little cold here. So here's some very interesting early history facts. Coffee was originally, I don't know why I'm waving this around. It's probably not a good thing to wave. I'll just use my phone as a wand and wave it around. Yeah, chuck it across the room and break it. All right, so early history kind of facts. Legend has it that Ethiopian shepherds first noticed the effects of caffeine when they saw their goats appearing to become frisky and dance after eating coffee berries. That sounds interesting. I mean, it's not like we haven't heard that before. In Siberia, reindeer herders, their reindeer eat magic mushrooms, and they noticed that the deer were going a little, ooh, so I don't know what the thought process was in this, but they drank the deer's piss. Yeah. Anyway, that's one way of eating magic mushrooms, I guess. Back to coffee. So yeah, that's interesting though. I mean, that's I could definitely see that happening. Just people seeing animals reacting to eating that and going, oh, we should try it. And so here comes the next part. So apparently, coffee was originally eaten, not drank. And African tribes mixed coffee berries with fat, which formed edible energy balls. That's interesting. I mean, when I think of energy balls, I'm thinking of compacted very dry kind of breakfast balls that you see people eat, which I'm not a fan of. I'd much prefer a good old plate of bacon and eggs. Yeah, that's cool. It's interesting. It's interesting to look at this kind of stuff. So what I'm drinking now is not an espresso. I'm just drinking regular coffee. But all different types of espressos, or rather, coffee types of drinks that have espresso in them have nothing to do with the type of bean, roast, or blend. It's just different mixtures with espresso in it. So a cafe latte is foam, tons of milk, and espresso, but that's layered. And then a mocha is, well, we'll do the layers first. A mocha is espresso, chocolate syrup, ooh, damn, milk, and then whipped cream. So that sounds pretty great. Cappuccino is espresso, milk, and then lots of foam. Americano, which I've heard of but never tried because it seems a little weird to me, is espresso and then hot water. Seems a little boring. And then a brev, bread. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. So I mean I live in Quebec, so my first inclination when I see something spelled B-R-E-V-E is to pronounce it in French, which would be brev, but maybe this is English, so brev, brevi. Anyway, that is espresso, half and half, and then foam. That's cool. That sounds interesting. And then there's regular old espresso, which is just espresso. So, and then it comes down to the caffeine, or rather the caffeine high. Coffee starts working pretty much right away. Apparently coffee is pretty good for you. There's a lot of vitamins in it and stuff. You're going to have to look that up yourself because I'm way too lazy to do that, and I haven't had breakfast yet, which I need to get. Enjoy your coffee. I don't know if you're having any, but if you're having coffee, I hope you enjoy it. And yeah, this video is very short, obviously, but good old little conversation about coffee. And next time, next Tuesday, hopefully I'll have a real and up and running podcast. So I'll see you guys then. And yeah, sorry about the short impromptu video, but I figured I'd put up something instead of nothing. So yeah, have a good day, guys.